Yo, what is up guys, Gray here, and today we have got our week 4 battle of the UPA, where we'll be going against Q, the Costa Rican, and his Chicago Dragapults. Seems like a really chill guy, not have much interaction, but yeah, he seems really cool, and he makes great content, so go make sure to check him out. His link will be down in the description below, as well as all the other coaches in the UPA this season. I went to say BBR, that was close. But yeah, without wasting too much time, let's get straight into the team builder. So, his team is super scary. You'll see it on screen now. It is Dragapult, Nihilego, Primarina, Articuno Galar, Rotomo, Zorok, Claydol, Crossel, Licky, Glalie, and Gmax Cinderace. So there's two mons here that he'll bring every week. I think regardless of anything, he will be bringing Cinderace, Gmax, and Dragapult. I think that Cinderace doesn't have the greatest matchup, but if I play my defensive checks poorly, then it absolutely gets freed up and will just run through my team. So really have to watch out for that. Dragapult is honestly, I think, inarguably the best mon in Draft League format, or at least in Standard Draft League. Its ability to run 17 different sets and run them well is just absurd. It's almost always going to be able to run Modest or Adamant. So yeah, Dragapult is a big threat in this game. Nihilego is a big problem for our team. Its dual stabs plus like Grass Knot and Dazzling Gleam are able to just beat everything on our team. It's super effective against literally everything outside of X-Cloud and Quillfish. I think that might be it. Duraludon as well. That's like the three resistances we basically have to Nihilego on our team. Primarina, similarly, we have very little to deal with. A offensive variant could be really scary, but I think actually it might be more defensive in this game, because looking at his team, I would say this is probably his best switch into a Urshifu. If I was to guess, I'd expect it's probably going to be Kebia Berry as well, just to cover for the poison jab. Yeah, that's definitely possible in my opinion. We could also be running Thunder Punch, so I don't think he's going to be bringing Wakan. He might bring Wakan actually to deal with Zeraora as well, as like a kind of catch-all for all of them. But Articuno has a terrible matchup in my opinion. It loses to both of my top two. It isn't able to break Swampert, isn't able to break Colossal, couldn't break X-Cloud, isn't able to touch Duraludon at all, can't break a Clefairy. Like, it's not got a good matchup. I'll be very surprised if it turns up, but then I've said some things are terrible before and it's just turned up and done work, so we are slightly prepared for it. Rotomo is really strong against quite a lot of my team. It's good against the Swampert, the Tornadus, the Quillfish. Honestly, that's probably about it, but at the same time, its defensive capabilities are pretty good. Like, my electric switching doesn't appreciate Leaf Storm. Zeraora also doesn't really appreciate Leaf Storm as well, so we've got to watch out for that. It's certainly going to be a tricky mon to kind of pivot around. It could show up, it could not, but if it doesn't show up, its only other removal is Claydol, so if that doesn't turn up, then Claydol almost definitely will. Zorok is a bit of a wild card. I think it could potentially do some work in this game. Definitely going to run Sludge Wave, because it will then struggle to hit Clefairy, to hit Tangrowth. I think AV Tangrowth. Like, it can hit Gardevoir relatively okay with Dark Pulse. But certainly Zorok is a bit of a problem. We've got to keep an eye out and see what kind of set he's running on that. What it's going to be illusioned into as well could be a bit of a problem. Zorok's just a tricky mon to kind of work around. Claydol is arguably, or inarguably I'd say, his best switch into Zeraora. He doesn't really have much outside of Claydol to be able to switch into it. It's still going to be weak to knockoff. I think there's a strong chance that it's going to be Cobbleberry, just to be able to take one hit from Urshifu as well and try and risk getting the burn with Scorching Sands. I think that's a play he could make. Crossel could be good in this game, but I'm not entirely sure whether like a lead set or a Shell Smash set would be better. Shell Smash is outsped by Zeraora. It's outsped by things like Choice Scarf Urshifu, by Choice Scarf Gardevoir, Choice Scarf Tornadus. I guess like Choice Scarf Duraludon, if we decide not to Gmax on that turn, it could also be outsped by. It does lose to Duraludon as well. Even if it's a +2, like Gmax Duraludon, we'll be able to take one, and we'll be able to just take it out with a Flash Cannon in return. Or Gmax Steel Spike. Licky Licky looks pretty good in this matchup. As a defensive check, it's pretty good against my entire team, barring Urshifu. If I click close combat with Zeraora, that's also something he has to watch out for. But outside of that, actually it's very good against the rest of my team, so strong chance that Licky Licky turns up, and it could very well be a problem for me. Glalie exists. Cinderace, I think, has arguably his worst matchup I would have thought against me, because it really struggles to break through Swampert, struggles to break through Quillfish. High Jump Kick is obviously going to do a ton of damage to Colossal, but I could also just attack that in return with Stone Edge, do a big amount. Honestly, things like Clefairy and Duraludon can take a hit just fine as well, and Clefairy can T-Wave it, it can knock off. Duraludon can click like G-Max Dragon Depletion, I think it is, his move. I mean, I've not even used Duraludon so far this season, so forgive me for not knowing its move. So yeah, Cinderace has a decent matchup. Like I say, if our defensive checks go down, then it can just run havoc on our team. But it does have kind of 4-move syndrome. It's got to decide whether it wants to run like Gunk Shot for my fairy types, whether he wants to run Bounce for things like getting speed. I think that's the only reason he run Bounce, but it's also a very valid option, because then it would outspeed things like Urshifu, it outspeed Zeraora. Whether he wants to run Zen Headbutt and be able to hit Quillfish. He doesn't have any grass type moves, so Swampert is always a good switch in as well. As long as it doesn't get up to like +3 attack, then Swampert is able to live it just fine. With Quillfish around, it's very difficult for him to do that. But yeah, that's his team. Getting into our team. So first up, we've got Urshifu with the Choice Scarf, Adamant Nature, with a ton of bulk as well. We're actually running a lot of HP investment and not a lot of speed. Wicked Blow, Close Combat, Poison Jab, and U-Turn. I feel like this is our best coverage. I know that he's probably going to run Kebier on Primarina, but once we pop that, he really struggles to switch in again, and we can always switch out against Primarina, especially if we work out his set and it's more defensive. We can 100% just switch out, and later in the game we can click it again. We also just wear it down eventually with Wicked Blow as well. Wicked Blow goes pretty much unresisted on his team because I don't count Zoroark as a resist. Realistically, only Primarina wants to switch in to a Wicked Blow. I think Crostle definitely could switch in as well. Licky Licky, if it's defensive and he's feeling very brave, can switch into a Wicked Blow. But other than that, we just got U-Turn as a way of pivoting around. We may want to click that earlier in the game just to be able to like pivot around Primarina without having to take too much damage. Also gives us Zeraora pretty much for free if he decides to go into Primarina. Outside of that, it should be outspeeding Dragapult. I have gone for quite a greedy speed creep. Like I said, I'm Adamant Nature with a lot of HP investment. This is to outspeed a Choice Scarf Primarina, I want to say. Underneath that, he might run Choice Scarf Rotom Mow, but I think that's not necessarily his play, because I don't think he wants to lock himself into a move against a team with 2 electric immunities and then plenty of, like, I'd say plenty of answers to grass type. I got Duraludon and I got Tangrowth, and I think that's enough for him not to want to be locked into Leaf Storm. Rotom honestly doesn't have the greatest matchup, but it could be very annoying. So yeah, I'm pretty much just outspeeding Choice Scarf Primarina, because outside of that, his Choice Scarf options are faster than me, so I don't see any reason to try and outspeed them. I might as well just try and go for bulk to be able to live a hit. My Hiligo is a big problem because I know it's going to have Dazzling Gleam, but if it's not Choice Scarf and it's not speed boosting nature, then we're actually in a really good place with Urshifu. I was very tempted to change U-Turn for Sucker Punch just in case Nihilego becomes a problem, but I think we might be okay to deal with it. Other than that, we should outspeed his Dragapult, depending on what he decides to speed creep, because there's 2 speed creeps that I can see him doing. One is just outspeeding Tornadus, which we will outspeed. The other one is outspeeding Modest Choice Scarf Gardevoir, which we will not outspeed. We will definitely not outspeed that. But at the same time, like I said, we are bulky, we will be able to take a hit. We don't necessarily want to take a hit, but we'll be able to kill in return Wicked Blow, unless he's Coldberry, and I think even then, if he's taking a bit of chip, that Dragapult is going to just drop. Next up, we have got our Swampert with Leftovers, very defensive with the Impish Nature, Flip Turn, Earthquake, Stealth Rock, and Endure. So Flip Turn is just there for switch initiative. Earthquake hits things like the Cinderace for good damage. It will hit the Primarina for solid damage. It will Oko Nihilego. Does a very good amount to Dragapult as well. Stealth Rock is just nice for Chip, being able to, like if he's weakness policy Cinderace or something, being able to do 25% on that is going to be really, really handy and helps me with some rolls later in the game. Being able just to get rocks damage on things like the Dragapult and Nihilego, the Primarina, always going to be handy. And then Endure is there because, firstly, I might be able to waste a turn of Gmax doing that. If he's used 2 turns, I'm going to die. But I can Endure, waste his last turn of Gmax, and possibly keep this around. Outside of that, if his Rotom or Dragapult is choice locked, then I can just Endure, and if they lock themselves into something like Leaf Storm or Draco Meteor, they drop to -2, and I can then switch out quite comfortably. At which point we can Endure again somewhere later in the game potentially, and yeah, it's just a little bit annoying. I really didn't know what to put as 4th move. I was tempted to go Toxic, which still makes sense, I think, for things like the Rotom and Primarina, but I felt like Endure also had a place in this game. I'm probably going to be wrong on that, but yeah, it's there should we need it. Next up we got a Zeraora with the Magnet, Adamant Nature, Plasma Fist, Volt Switch, Knockoff, and Toxic. Honestly, all we needed in this game was the Electric and Dark coverage. He does have a Licky Licky, which would be nice to have close combat for, but we have got a Toxic. If it's not running Heal Bell, then the Toxic is going to be really handy. It also hits the Claydol. Knockoff is really annoying for Licky Licky because then it means that it's not such a great switch into my team. Plasma Fist to especially defensive Licky Licky is going to be 2 at KOing. And Volt Switch is just there as nice switch initiative. Honestly, this thing is just kind of here to be a bit annoying in the early game. It can also be a late game sweeper, but at the same time, we have got the same greedy speed creep that we may get punished for because this doesn't take a hit so well from Dragapult. Yeah, if we get punished by that, then so be it. Yeah, this is just a good all-round kind of way of dealing with things like Nihilego, Primarina, Knockoff hits the Dragapult, hits the Articuno, hits the Claydol, and Cinderace doesn't really want to take a Plasma Fist. So I feel like Zeraora is pretty solid in this game. It's not necessarily the best, but it's going to be somewhat annoying for him to deal with. We now have a debut with our Quillfish holding the Black Sludge. Very tempted to go Rocky Helmet, I still am, with the Intimidate and the Impish Nature, Liquidation, Poison Jab, Spikes, and Thunder Wave. Dual Stabs actually do a lot of work in this game. Able to hit Nihilego, Primarina, Rotom Mow, Claydol, Crustle, and Cinderace for super effective damage. All really, really nice. Also, Zoroark doesn't really appreciate it at all, so we can Liquidation that and do a ton of damage. Poison Jab has always got a chance to be able to poison. Of course, things like Licky Licky probably going to be able to switch in just fine. Spikes is nice for, like with Stealth Rock, just some chip. Be able to chip things like the Dragapult and the Cinderace as long as not boots, and put them in range of other things on my team. Thunder Wave is just nice for speed control. We're able to Thunder Wave Cinderace pretty comfortably because even if he's running Max Might Storm, after the Intimidate, he's not going to be able to 3-hit KO us, I want to say, with the Black Sludge. So we're able to Thunder Wave fairly freely against it, and if it turns out to be weakness policy, at least then it is paralyzed and it's less of a problem for our team. Outside of that, it's just a really good defensive check generally to pretty much just Cinderace, effectively. It's just a good check to Cinderace, but kind of annoying to his whole team. It doesn't do well with Rotom Mow and Articuno, but like I said, I don't think Articuno is going to turn up. Rotom has a not a great matchup. So we'll have to see. I think this could be quite annoying for him, but it's mainly just here for the Cinderace. Next up, we've got Assault Vest, Tangrowth, with the Careful Nature, Regenerator, Power Whip, Knockoff, Earthquake, and Poison Jab. Pretty much perfect coverage to hit his entire team. Knockoff hits the Dragapult, it will hit the Claydol. Then you got Power Whip to hit Nihilego for very good damage. Primarina hits Claydol, Crustle for okay damage. Licky Licky doesn't necessarily appreciate Knockoff and Power Whip. Earthquake to take down the Nihilego also can do a good amount of damage to the Cinderace. Poison Jab is just nice for poisons as well as the Rotom Mow and Primarina. So yeah, Tangrowth is basically my best switch into Primarina. If it's Specs with Ice Beam, we don't take that hit well at all. But if it's Specs, we don't take any hit well at all. But this is kind of like a way of just pivoting into Primarina and kind of getting back out. If it ice beams, we can go to something else and be able to take that hit just fine. We do have things like the Coolfish that will be able to take a hit. If he goes for the water move, we take that. If he goes for the Moonblast, then we don't get 2-hit KO'd by that. We're going to take a ton of damage though. I think if it's modest specs, it does 2-hit KO us, but if it's not modest specs, then it won't. I don't expect it to be specs, but it could very well be. Like, that's the thing, it could still very well be specs. But this is a good just all-round pivot to things like the Rotom, to the Primarina, things like Claydol as well. We can kind of just switch in and not care too much. Lastly, we've got our Vexcloud also holding the Assault Vest, running dual Assault Vest this week because his special offense is so scary. The Calm Nature, Scrappy, Boomburst, Earthquake, Surf, and Circle Throw. Boomburst does so much damage to his entire team. He does not have a Steel type, so that's awesome. We're able to Boomburst pretty much for free. His Crustle doesn't appreciate it. His best switch in is Nihilego, and I don't think he will necessarily expect Earthquake, so we'll be able to knock it out with an Earthquake afterwards without really taking too much damage. This is also our switch into Nihilego as well. It's not perfect, but it's certainly our best way of dealing with it. This is like a backup check to things like Articuno should that turn up. Zoroark, we're going to have to kind of play around and work out what set it is. It could be very annoying for our team. This can also switch into Claydol just fine because we don't particularly care too much about what it can do. Boomburst hits like pretty much all his team. And then Circle Throw is an interesting one. It's mainly just there for the Licky Licky. He's probably going to want to Wish Pass with that. And if we're able to Circle Throw on the right turns, we can prevent the things that want the wishes from actually getting the wishes. Be that Licky Licky, which could be very annoying for us to try and wear down, or whatever is taking damage. We are Scrappy, so we still hit the Dragapult, even if that switches in. Boomburst, however, is just completely spammable if he doesn't bring Nihilego. It really doesn't. It does a ton to his team. I think he probably brings Spadef Licky Licky just to kind of deal with that. Or he brings like an Assault Vest Nihilego to try and deal with it. But yeah, that's the team. I'll be getting into the battle in just a moment. I think he has just messaged me. I'm actually recording this for the second time. I had a perfectly good recording. However, my mic was set to the webcam, so I had to re-record this, and that's why it's a little bit more rushed. I think I went into more detail with the first one. I say it's rushed, it's still 17 minutes. But yeah, I will see you guys in the battle. Okay, so here for the battle against Q. We're just going to click A and we're going to get straight into this. This one's going to be a rough match. He brings pretty much what I was expecting. There is... His only removal is the Rotom. He doesn't bring a ground type, so that's really nice actually. I can get 3 Volt Switches off. I might just lead off with my... I'm very tempted to lead off with my Zeraora and see how he wants to respond to that. I expect it's probably the Rotom, but I'm fairly happy with that lead because I feel like maybe he leads Rotom. That's entirely possible as well. And we can just Volt Switch out, or we could Toxic. Toxic's also an option. The Licky Licky is going to be very annoying, but he just brings resists to my Urshifu as to be expected. He brings Primarina and the Dragapult, which means I'm probably going to have to predict a little bit. Going to have to see what set the Dragapult is and the Primarina. Who knows what the Nihilego is? Like, if it outspeeds me on turn 1, at least I know for sure what it is. But good luck, have fun to my opponent. Not just good luck. I don't want to just wish luck. I'd rather he had fun as well. Having fun is the most important part of playing Draft League, as Steve would say, Magnitude. You've got to have fun. And Steve has almost as much fun as I do. He does lead off with the Rotom. I think that was pretty much to be expected. And there's a strong chance he either goes for a Will-O-Wisp or he goes for a Leaf Storm here. So I'm just going to Volt. If he is Scarf, we're going to find out now. He's not Scarf. Okay, we just get to Volt Switch for very little damage. I'm not sure there's much I can realistically gain from that information. But I'm just going to go straight out into... yeah, straight out into my X-Cloud. It's offensive. Also, she's doing about 8%. As he does just Leaf Storm, I could have gone into my... That's doing a good amount of damage. Should have turned that on. That would certainly have helped. And he is leftover, that's good to know. It does look to be fairly offensive. But I'm quite happy, I think, just clicking Boom Burst. Like, he does not switch in well at all to Boom Burst. Probably goes Licky Licky if I had to guess. He's just going to Volt Switch. So, yeah, we're able to take that really well because he's a -2. And if he goes Nihilego, then I can just Earthquake next turn. But Boom Bursting guarantees like the most damage to the rest of his team. No name, that is... No, Nihilego, nice. Yeah, so I'm just going to EQ on this turn. Like, he's not necessarily going to know my set. But yeah, I'm just going to click EQ. Because he may try and set up hazards here as well. He's going to set up Toxic Spikes and he's going to die for it. So we'll take that. That's a nice trade. Yeah, Nihilego was a big threat to my team, and I just need to get my Quillfish in. If I can get my Quillfish in, then I can get rid of those Toxic Spikes fairly freely. Because I don't have a Defogger, and actually the poison would be kind of annoying. As you may just go Licky Licky here. If he goes Licky, then it's most likely going to be Cinderace. I think he probably wants to try and threaten me out of High Jump Kick. But that lets my Quillfish in. And I can just get rid of those Toxic Spikes immediately. So he isn't in the best situation. How much can I do with X-Cloud? Boom Burst will do a good amount. That is the Licky Licky. Do I just want to stay in on this, or do I want to... Like, I could just Circle Throw. That's entirely possible. I don't know what he's really going to want to do. I could just go Quillfish now, but I don't want to just throw away my Quillfish for nothing, so I'd rather see what he's going to do first. Body Press, okay, interesting. I could have gone Quillfish. That's going to knock us out. I'm kind of okay with that. Not amazingly okay with that, but yeah, I think I just want to bring in my Quillfish. I probably should have gone on that turn. Like, honestly, I think that may have made most sense. But we're going to at least be able to eat this up, and then we're going to be able to intimidate this. It's oblivious, so it's not going to make any difference. I'm tempted just to double out, because I don't really know what it's going to be doing. Like, honestly, I think Swampert is fine to check Cinderace. So honestly, I think Spikes are going to be worth it here. He's going to stay in. Maybe Wish. Body Slam, okay. Doesn't get the power, which is really nice. I could go for the Poison Jab and try and get the... I'm going for the Poison Jab. If he goes into Rotom on this turn, then that would be like best case scenario. Because he probably wants to just defog. Yeah, he does. So the Poison Jab's going to do a good chunk to this. Now I can just go out into my Tangrowth. That's going to do very good damage. I'm not willing to risk anything with this. Like, it's still got a really good role to play in this game. It's still healthy, I don't need to risk it. So I actually could go into... Yeah, I think going into Tangrowth is the best all-round play. He's probably going to defog here. But he could also just go for the electric move. Could also go for a Will-O-Wisp. He just Volt Switches. That's fine by me. He's going to see that we're Assault Vest on this, but we're still in a good place. It's not a terrible position at the moment. Like, honestly, Licky Licky is the most annoying thing for us to deal with. But we do still have our Spike up, which is fantastic. And Quillfish can come in effectively on this thing for 3. He's going to take the Spike. I'm going to assume he's got Toxic or something on this. Yeah, I'm just going to go back out into my Quillfish because I don't think he has anything really that can hit me. I do want to keep this healthy. Like, he might have Toxic and I want to avoid that. And yeah, Quillfish is the best way of avoiding it. He's shown 2 moves, so it might not have Wish on it. So yeah, he's going to go for the Toxic. I really didn't want to have my Tangrowth Toxic at all. And I'm just going to Poison... Do I want Poison Jab again? Yeah, I think I just want to Poison Jab. Because if I can get a Poison on this, that'll be, like, amazing. We aren't getting a Poison. He might well paralyze us, and that would kind of suck. Yeah, there we go. It was bound to happen eventually. It was bound to happen. But I think my play is always just to try and Poison Jab and get the poison. I could also just go into my... Okay, he does have Wish. So maybe he's Wish Protect or he's Wish Heal Bell. Wait, no, sorry, it's just Wish. And yeah, honestly, I just want to keep Poison Jabbing. We've seen his full moveset. He's just going to Body Slam again. So we are going to get a Poison Jab. If we can get a Poison on this, it's like, be so huge. There we go. We know he hasn't got Heal Bell on this, so like he can Wish, but he's not going to live long. What's he got? Body Press. I think he's like max defense. Like, just judging off that damage, I think he's max defense. So I am tempted to just go into Zeraora. I am very tempted to go Zeraora. What can I realistically do to this? It's Impish. Plasma Fist is doing a good amount of damage, but it's not too at KOing. Maybe I wanted a Toxic on it instead. I don't want to keep taking that damage. How much is Body Slam doing? Body Slam, that's doing a bit more than I would like. So yeah, I'm just going to keep Poison Jabbing. Actually, I could Liquidation. Liquidation won't be a bad play either. So I don't think at any point he's wanting to switch this out. That was a crit, yeah. And I think now he wants to Wish. So I'm going to switch out into my Zeraora. Because otherwise he's going to be taking too much damage. I could also go into my Urshifu and just click a move, effectively, and prevent him from getting that. Like, Plasma Fist might do enough damage. Yeah, I'm just going to go out into my Zeraora here. Preserve this a little bit, so I still got the Intimidate for the Cinderace. He's going to Wish. And, like, he's got to be somewhat scared of the close combat. But, yeah, I can just Plasma Fist for free. He doesn't really have a good switch into this anymore. Like, and even if this is fully defensive, it shouldn't be able to take this hit. Like, we've definitely wasted a lot of time there making the decision, but I think it's to put us back on the upper hand. On the upper hand, on the front foot, whatever you want to call it. I wouldn't be surprised to see Rotom come in. Or he's just going to sack this. This should kill it. Unless we get a super low roll. No, it just kills. Cool. So Licky Licky's gone, and that thing was really annoying to deal with. Super annoying to deal with. So I'm absolutely fine with, like, with losing a little bit of health on my Quillfish. I'm more than happy trading that out for damage. And we're still at full, so really nothing is going to be able to... Nothing's going to be able to switch in. Or just be able to knock me out easily. I don't think, unless Dragapult is... like Choice Specs. Can that knock me out? Yeah, Draco from Choice Specs could knock me out. That is the Cinderace. Okay. Well, I mean... I would outspeed this. But I think I'm just happy to go into my... Quillfish here. If he does G-Max, then... Like, that's probably best case scenario, because it gets out of the way. And if he does G-Max, I just want to... I think he's not going to G-Max here. I think he's going to just click U-turn. But I don't think in any world it was worth it. Yeah, they are going to G-Max. Cool. That's certainly really helpful, because they've used this and they... Like, they may predict this and go for the Max Mindstorm. If they do, that's a good play. But they are at -1, so Quillfish realistically should be okay. Max Airstream. Okay, they do have the Airstream. That's going to do just over 50. Just over 50, just over... So that was a bold prediction going for that. But I am not wanting any part of this. I'm just going to click Thunderwave, and hopefully we can hit. I'm not sure if they'll have the Mindstorm for this. They do, okay. That's fine though. I'm more than happy to trade out. Because they're at -1, and now my Swampert can come in. This thing is still a bit of an issue. Perhaps I should have tried to pivot. But I can just go into my Swampert. And it's at -1, so honestly it should not be doing much at all to me. It's not Libero, it's Blaze. It's at -1. Yeah, it's doing absolutely nothing. And I kind of just want to set up a Stealth Rock. This is 0. Yeah, it's still not doing much. I'm just going to click Stealth Rock. Going for the Max Knuckle. It's just going to put it back at neutral. That doesn't do a lot at all. And Earthquake has a good chance to knock this out should he decide to stay in. But I think I want to just flip turn, expecting the Rotom to come in so I can prevent a defog. I definitely think I want to do that. This is a +1/+1. Preventing the defog would be really nice. Do I just lose to this? No, I can just switch back in. So yeah, I'm just going to flip turn. He may stay in because he's got the boosts. But I don't think that's the right play. I think he always goes Rotom here, expecting potential Earthquake. As he does. And this means we can absolutely just prevent him from really being able to do anything. That's a crit that honestly isn't going to matter, because I can just go into my Zeraora and click Plasma Fist. How much is Cinderace doing to Zeraora? I mean, Plasma Fist should just knock it out. And we saw it quicker because we switched out before he used his max. So yeah, there's no reason for me to not. Yeah, there's no reason for me not to click Plasma Fists. I could also click Knockoff. I think that's actually a better play. I'm just going to click knock off. Just on the off chance that he wants to go into Dragapult. And that's going to knock out his Rotom, so honestly he's starting to run out of things to be able to take out the Zeraora here. And by Zeraora, but he also struggles with Swampert. How much is knockoff doing to a Dragapult? It was like 100 and something in HP. Knockoff's doing a good amount. I'm just going to Volt Switch and go out into my Swampert. Because that should also put this in range of... should put it in range of the... what's it called? In range of Plasma Fists, should I get back into this position? I'm going to Pyro Ball. A burn would suck. But, you know, it is what it is. We don't get burned, so thank God, that's ideal. He does not have a good Earthquake switch in now. But I kind of also want to get the slow flip turn and get myself back into Zeraora because that's honestly better for me. I don't mind taking a bit of damage on this to get my Zeraora back in. Because Zeraora threatens everything on his team. He's going to withdraw, probably into the Primarina. Yeah, that's the Primarina. That's definitely not going to be a Dragapult nickname. That'd be wild if it was. It's going to take a Stealth Rock, it's going to take Spikes. It's going to take a Flip Turn as well. And now I go back into Zeraora. It's Rocky Helmet, interesting. Yeah, Zeraora really doesn't give him anything. It might put me in range of Dragapult doing something. Might put me in range of Dragapult, but... yeah, I have no reason not to Plasma Fist here. And once this is dead, we can actually just click Wicked Blow with Urshifu. So he's probably going to go Dragapult here, and depending on his Dragapult set, could be a little bit scary. But we'll see. Let's see what it is. Actually goes into the Cinderace, which is interesting. I'm pretty sure this just dies to a Plasma Fist. It should do. Don't see any reason why it wouldn't. Yeah, should just die to a Plasma Fist. Unless it's got Sucker. Is he looking for Sucker damage? No? It should just knock it out, yeah. And that means all he's got left is Dragapult. Dragapult could still be an issue. But the fact that he hasn't gone into it yet makes me think that maybe he can't knock me out from here. If he's like Life Orb. Life Orb was still like, he doesn't know my creep as well, so. In fact, knockoff should just knock it out unless it's Colbur. Should just knock it out. We just click knockoff. He might outspeed me. If he does, he does. But outside of a Draco, he's not knocking me out. We don't see a Colbur. And that's just going to be game. Yeah, good game to Q. Zeraora just kind of went nuts in that game, but I think I really pivoted well around it. I'm going to assume it was sub-Willow or something along those lines. But yeah, good game to my opponent. Really fun game. Not really too hacksy as well, which is kind of nice. Like, there was a couple of crits that, like, may or may not have mattered. I think that Poison Jab crit possibly mattered, but at the same time, I think he was pretty much always guaranteed to be in range of that Plasma Fist. But we moved to 3 and 1 plus 4. So yeah, we do jump above our opponent for this game, and we move into the playoff positions. But you know, it's pretty early days, so who knows? Urshifu didn't even hit the field, which is nuts. Didn't have to use it at all. Zeraora just kind of claimed lives when it came in. So yeah, if you did enjoy the video, please do leave a like and subscribe for more Draft League content. The support is greatly appreciated, but until the next one, have a great day, guys. Peace.